Hey up, welcome to this week's vlog. It's bang in the middle of summer, it's the second week in July. There's a hint of rain, it's blowing a gale and I'm cold. A typical British summer. So where am I today? I'm at Spurn Head or Spurn Point. That's Yorkshire's very own Land's End, as far east as you can go. I'm not on my own, I'll just flip around and show you. I've got Tony with me today. We're going to have a wander on here, look at some of these old sea defences and general derelict buildings, bits of old concrete and stonework. There's tides being eroding it. And I've got some ND filters to talk to you about. Some more of that in a minute. But for now, let's head along this beach, see what we can find. Hang on a minute, there's me using my legs like a sucker. I've definitely made a bad life choice, haven't I? I should be on back of that. Oh well, let's keep going. Well, if you've never been to Spurn Point, I'll just explain what it is. It's effectively just a big sandbank and it just sticks out into the Humber estuary. You've got the Humber estuary on one side and the side we're on facing out into the North Sea. I think that's where that wind's coming. It's far chillier than it really ought to be in July, and there's just all this, you can see behind me, there's just all this detritus off these old buildings. There's just years of coastal defences, I think stages for boats landing for the fishing industry, and a little smattering of Second World War defences as well. There's just so much history, and if you like this gnarled wood, this ravaged concrete and brick, it's an absolute paradise for that kind of photography. So we've got to the main set of drawings, the first set that you get to, and have a bit of a wander around and get my camera set up, and then I'll talk to you about these ND filters. Yeah, one thing you need to be careful of as you're walking around, where this concrete's collapsed, there's lots of old bolts, nails, and chunks of metal sticking out, bits of rebar that just start to stick out this crumbling concrete. So yeah, you've got to watch your footing, just be careful. Hopefully you're up to date with your tetanus jabs. So yeah, be safe if you ever come here, just be careful. Right then, so we're at this first composition. We've got these sea groins, these sea defences leading out into the sea. We've got the waves coming across on a diagonal, and I absolutely love when we get a big wave that we keep getting every now and again. They come spilling across and through the horizontal bars, horizontal planks. Yeah, you've got these planks in between the uprights, the stanchions, and the way the waves come spilling through, there's quite a bit of drama there. So I'm probably going to get some fairly fast shutter speeds for that, just to capture the action. But before I came here today, I already had it in my mind that I wanted to get some long exposures, some long 2-minute plus kind of exposures, those simplistic, fine art, black and white kind of images. So yeah, I've got those in mind, so that's probably what I'm going to go with. And to do that, I'm going to need some ND filters. So Kentfaith have sent me out some of these K&F ND filters. It's a kit set. They're not paid me any money to give a review or anything, so basically this is just my honest opinion of what I think of these filters. I've been using magnetic filters, case magnetic filters, for quite a few years now. So these are K&F's magnetic filters, and they make life so much easier. Just having them magnetic, you just pop them onto the front of your lens, and that's just that in itself, as far as the review goes, I totally recommend magnetic filters. They're an absolute godsend. So the filters themselves come as a kit. They come in this nice little pouch, little magnetic flap on the front, then a nice zip, keep them nice and secure. And you've got these individual, you can see that, these individual little sections for each of the filters. In here you've got an ND8, ND64 and an ND1000, so that's 3, 6 and 10 stops. And you also get, which I don't know if you can see, I'll do a close-up of this, you also get an 8-stop graduated filter, which I find a bit strange. I don't really think I'll find much of a use for that. Yeah, it's not like a square filter where in a holder that you can slide up and down on the horizon, the graduation. So I find that a bit weird. I don't really know how that's going to work. So yeah, and one thing that's missing from the kit, which is a real shame, an omission in my opinion, there's no CPL, no circular polarizer. Put a CPL in instead. yeah, it'll certainly be more useful for me. They did actually send me a CPL out. I did mention this. They sent me one out separately, so I managed to put one on the front of the camera as well. Fitting them, it's dead easy. It also comes with an adapter ring, so you just buy one to the size of your biggest lens. In this case it's 82mm. You screw that on, just leave that on all times, and then you just pop on each of the filters. They just stick straight on with a magnet. Absolutely fantastic, so quick and easy. Really speeds up my workflow. Yeah, so let's have a go, let's see what sort of images we can get. I know what you're thinking, continuity error. Your jacket's changed, and that's Mary's Shell. That's not Spurn Point. So yeah, we've jumped from the east coast over to the west coast. So about 5 minutes after I last talked to you, we had a rain shower, and the skies went biblically black, dark clouds. We looked at forecast, and it was just going to be torrential rain for the rest of the day. So we called it quits, we made an escape. Now one of the things about Spurn Point is there's no shelter, you're very exposed. Once you're out there on that sand spit, there's nowhere you can go, you're going to get absolutely wet through. So yeah, it was a few days later, we've jumped over to Mary's Shell. So yeah, part 2 of this video. Let's have a look at these filters again, and let's see what we can make of the place. So again, I'm not alone, there's Tony's over there somewhere. He decided to join me, decided to come over to this west coast with me. So you should be able to see over my shoulder, there's the Shell. It's the first time I've been here since they installed some new sea defences. Just behind them there's some boulders, some big boulders to help with the coastal erosion. And I've had a lot of photographers complain that it's ruined the composition. Now it looks like we're going to get a high tide. Now I was thinking that the boulders, well, I would try to be optimistic, I was thinking it just give me something different to work with. We'll just have to change up my composition maybe. But as I say, I think we're going to get a really high tide. In the space of time that we've been here, those boulders have just been swamped to there, swallowed up by the tide, swallowed up by the waves. So I'm hoping they'll just disappear and I can get back to doing those long exposure, fine art shots that I normally get when I'm at this location. So I'm going to get the camera properly set up now. We'll see about getting some shots. Well, that tide seems to be coming in a hell of a lot quicker than I was expecting. I've been here before when there's been a high tide, but I don't think I've ever known it come in so quick. I already mentioned that we were losing the beach rapidly. Well, it's already lapping against them bottom steps. As it happens, I've just had a lifeguard come over to me and he's just actually given me a bit of a warning. He's just told me that it's going to be a particularly high spring tide, and he actually advised that we move ourselves further up the steps just to be safe. In fact, he's already told me that the waves are still probably going to be lapping around where my tripod is now. So I've got myself settled. I get a nice little perch, safety first and all that. So let me talk you through what I'm getting with my camera. So I'm using that technique again to get that 2-minute exposure to give me that fine art look. I've set my exposure to 1/8 of a second. To be fair, that is slightly overexposed, but I don't mind that. It'll really lift out those shadows inside the shell, and I don't mind if I blow out my sky because I'm hoping to blend that away into the horizon. So yeah, 1/8 of a second. When I drop on a 10 stop, that'll then give me a 2-minute exposure. So let's fire that shot off, and if it's any good, here it comes now. I've just come a few metres further along the promenade, and there's this curve. The breakwater sort of curves around a little bit of headland, a little bit where there's a cafe. And I'm quite liking these curves in the step. I've got a similar shot over at Blackpool. I just thought I'd try it, get something a little bit different. It's a shot I've never got when I've come here to the Shell before. So yeah, let's see what we can make of this. I think there's a fighting chance that this might look a little bit different. Those lines, those steps look quite graphical. And if I'm going for that sort of black and white fine art look, I think that might work really well. So yeah, let's see if we can get a shot here. So I've just done a quick test shot, and what I've noticed as well, obviously, you've got these groins as well, which are looking quite good in the water. So effectively I'm going to get the shell and the groin, so a little bit of a 2-for-1 in this image. Quite liking that, just a little bit something different. And I'm thinking those groins might make a little minimalist subject in their own right. So I'm going to get the shot with both of them in. I think I'm going to zoom in then, concentrate on those groins. So if these shots are any good, as always, you know the score. There they come now. So again, I'm using these K&F magnetic filters. They just pop on really easy, an absolute godsend. I've been using magnetic filters now for a few years, and I definitely won't go back now. If you want to save some money on these, I'm going to put a link down below to the K&F website, and I've got a code for you. If you want to save 12%, if you use the code GSPhoto, that'll save you 12% on these filters, and it'll actually save you 12% on any item on the site. So yeah, if you follow that link, I'm not sponsored by them, they're not paying me to give them a review. This is just my honest opinion, and they really are great filters. Well, so far from what I can tell using these filters, they've got very little colour cast. Previously I've used very expensive case filters, and I'll be honest with you, when brands say they have no colour cast, there's always at least a small amount. I mean, you are putting glass in front of your lens. I think you're always going to sort of impact slightly on quality. But I have to say, for the price point, these K&F filters, yeah, they seem to be performing really well. Certainly on the back of the camera, I'm really struggling to notice any colour cast. Of course, that's kind of irrelevant today because I'm going to probably process all these in black and white, but yeah, really impressed so far. Well, I think any worries people had that this location had been ruined by those sea defences, by those rocks that they put behind the shell. I don't think you needed to worry. I managed to get shots from just about every angle, so all you really need is a good high tide, and I'm still getting that simple, clean composition, that fine art look. I'm still loving the place. Yeah, okay, as the tide recedes, you're going to see those rocks, but no, I still think it's a magical place. Really loving it. So I'm going to wrap things up. So before I do, just a reminder, check out K&F, these filters, and don't forget that discount code, GSPhoto, to get yourself 12% off. And I'll leave you with a few different angles, a few different shots of this shell, all in a fine art style. So until next time, don't forget, like and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you.